back, everybody. Chase Valenzuela here with the 900 Global Reality Check. Go 5 1/4 by 4 1/8 by 3 on the layout, so not too different from my typical pin-up stuff. This ball features the original disturbance asymmetric core, so nothing different there from the original reality and the altered reality. And what we're going to do today is throw 10 or 12 shots with the reality check and then compare to an altered reality and an original reality as well, so you can really get a good idea. You can really get a good idea of the cover differences, since that's the only thing that's really different here. So the altered reality featured S84 Pearl. The original reality featured S84 Response Solid. The reality check features S84 Beta hybrid cover stock. So design intent here, according to Soar's website, give you something that is similar in overall hook potential to the original S84 cover stock featured on the reality, but create a little more angle and be a little bit more sideways off the end of the pattern. So original reality, pretty smooth. I wouldn't say it's angular, but it's really, really continuous. It didn't really tend to go that forward on the back of the pattern. Especially for a big asymmetric solid ball. So 3 shots in here with that almost 710. This ball's definitely more angular than the original reality. I would venture to say it might even be more angular than the new Infinite Physics, which is a pearl cover stock. Cover's pretty strong. I'm going to go 2 and 1 left here off of where I've been standing, where I've been playing. See if we can get it back from that little bit bigger angle, a little bit deeper. And still got the 10 out. I feel like from that spot an original reality might have flat 10. While the reality did continue really well for me and didn't really go really forward and sort of hook stop the way that some asymmetrical stuff tends to, it didn't necessarily like big angles. So I think this is going to be one that does like big angles, and that's part of the reason that I drilled it pin up. Is if I'm going to play big angles, pin-up stuff will get to the pins and stop just a little bit instead of really, really continuing. So if I play the big angles and it hooks a little bit early, I've got a chance for it to still hold the pocket. Same shot as the last one here. It still looks good, so we'll go a little bit deeper. These are not my first shots. I probably warmed up 6-8 shots with this ball just to kind of break the cover in before we started here. Overall, stuff like this is kind of the ticket at Millennium. We're going to go 3 and 2 left here off those last couple of shots. And didn't throw that very good. Wow. Crumbled a bunch of mess there. That one was not great off my hand. So we'll try to throw one. I might go back one board right with the feet. My angles are super duper open right now, and they're not really bowled on. I've bowled a game to warm up maybe total. And they were dead fresh when I walked in. He was just getting off of here with the oil machine, so shut that angle down just a pinch and try to throw it a little better here. Pretty good shot. So that one got there. Obviously getting around the lane and getting this out to where there's quite a bit of friction in the pattern is kind of the play. Typically for me at Millennium, my best success is with pearl stuff and sort of steeper angles. Trying to keep it in the middle, you get into the, you kind of get trapped leaving corner pins, and as soon as you miss in, you have no forgiveness. So you can kind of create some hold with angle if you can get a ball that'll carry from bigger angles and not leave 10 pins doing that. So it's all just kind of a carry game here. That was all right, missed a little right. But this ball really does like going left to right. I'm going to parallel in now, so we're going to get into the oil and try to keep it a little straighter and see if it'll still carry, keeping it in the puddle a little bit. This will kind of demonstrate how strong that cover really is, if it can still face up properly through the oil. So another 5 and 3 here or so. Got it to about 10 down the lane, so obviously that looks a little better, kind of splitting the 8-9 versus really having to drive and cut the 10 out like the other shots from further right. The issue is if I miss one board left there, I'm going to get 5 through the middle. But, you know, it's probably 20 to about 10, and it managed to get through them, so really nice. Like I said, it's supposed to be similar to the S84 response cover feature on the original Reality, but a little bit more angular. So far, I think that's what I'm seeing. I'd like to get some shots with the Reality. A little further right than the last one, and just barely got there, so really nice so far. And you may notice we're cutting down some of the stuff in between shots here. The reason for that is I want to get as many actual shots in here as possible. So we're going to try the Reality now. We're going to go back to that sort of first line with a little bit bigger angles, but pretty far right. Really nice. Obviously not quite as angular, but it did get there. So far, similar strength-wise. Obviously the shape is different. The Reality check, a little, maybe just a pinch further down the lane, but a lot more off the spot. This sort of hooked earlier and rolled in there, where the Reality check got a bit further down the lane and sort of wound up and made a big move later. So make that first move left that I made earlier with the Reality, and we'll just kind of see how far left I can get with this. This is that first 2-1, and I missed right. So try to make a better shot here. Not going to shoot spares today. Okay. So let's go that little bit bigger angle. Probably 15 to 5 or so here. See if we can get this back. I suspect a flat 10 if I do put it in the right spot. And not a flat 10, but a ring 10, so pretty good shot, dead on target. So now I'm going to make the move left and throw another one with the Reality. Then we'll throw a couple head-to-head shots with the Reality check here. And then we'll move on to the alternate Reality comparison. So this is 2 and 2 on the last shot. So similar angle, just a little closer to the head pin. Missed a little inside there. This is the house shot today, so obviously getting away with quite a bit. So we'll go right in that same spot with the reality check. Try to go 17 to 10, just like that last one. Got it a little further right and 10 pinned, so missed inside with the reality and threw it good with the reality check. Reality check does come at that 4K fast surface finish, so Storm's new alternative to that 1500 grit polish. So far I've liked it. I tended to knock the polish off of everything I threw anyway, so try to throw this one a little closer to that last one with the reality. Still further right. Cut the 10 out that time, so. Overall, not wrong. Shape difference is minimal, but observable, certainly. Reality check. A little bit more off the back of the pattern, a little bit quicker. We'll go altered reality now, so. Again, back to that spot where we started, sort of a little further right. Good shot here. All right. So altered reality quite a bit later, and they're a little bit closer to the friction, quite a bit sharper. Now, I've not been a big fan of this ball. Obviously, it's on the excluded list from USB-C, so not one I've thrown a bunch, but it's different from the reality check in that it is further down the lane than the original reality, but it's not any quicker. So I still get that kind of smooth look. But because the cover gets further down the lane, the ball almost hook stops because it's not picking up as soon. So the reality reads the mids a little better, continues a little better. The reality is a little further down the lane. Excuse me, the altered reality is a little further down the lane. So it doesn't really want to corner from inside as well as I thought it would. It's not any sharper. It's just further down the lane. So right there, missed a little in, and I get no forgiveness. You saw with the reality check, if I missed in, it was able to get there. So now we'll throw a couple heads-up shots with the reality check. Let's say the reality check's a pinch earlier and way more continuous than the altered. So the altered's a shell down from the reality, but for me it wasn't a great one because it wasn't any quicker. So if they got to hooking, it didn't help me any. And a little deeper there. Not the best shot. Better shot there with the reality check, and you see it's just a touch earlier than the altered. The altered sort of gets down the lane and makes a big move. And for me, if I give it away any it's really hard to get the tin out or get it to continue the right way. It just sort of gets down the lane, makes one initial move, and then really goes forward. Where the reality check blends it out a little more, it's a little smoother. So we'll go altered reality in that same spot here. A little further right. And you see it kind of hooked and froze. Not the worst shape ever. I mean, on something flatter, that's a great pearl option because it's not going to run off on you or be jerky and unpredictable. So it might just be that I haven't bowled on a condition that was ideal for this fall yet. But the reality check is really, really nice on the house shot, on the easier stuff. A little inside there. All right. All right, guys, well, there you have it. I didn't really get to do a proper sign-off. I had some ladies get on the pair next to me, so I wanted to kind of hurry up and get off. But there you have it, the new 900 Global Reality Check. This one is, like I said, 5 1/4 by 4 1/8 by 3, so pin up. My PAP's moved around a little bit, so you've probably noticed a little bit of disparity in the layouts. But I've been messing with my fit, messing with my thumb pitches a little bit. And so this is off of my current PAP. You saw compared to the Reality a little bit more angular, but not really any later. You saw compared to the Altered Reality quite a bit earlier, and a little rounder, a little smoother, and not as prone to kind of hook stop and lock up. So each one certainly has their purposes, but I think this is going to be really good at Millennium Bowling on house shots for me in general. I really like to see the ball make a big move down the lane. My barrel's pretty heavy, so I have a hard time getting the ball to sort of tip and go through the pins a lot of times, especially when they're easier and I've got quite a bit of friction. So something like this gives me a way to kind of cut through the puddle in the middle of the lane and still play out to the friction without something that's going to overread or flat tin. Release date on this thing is July 29th. Go to your local pro shop or come see me at Millennium Bowling Supply and get yours on the release date, or even come by and pre-order. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Please consider liking and subscribing.